Hi, this is Gustavo from Algomo, where we are building a natively multilingual conversational AI platform for customer service. In this video, we will demonstrate the quantitative and qualitative results of the project we did with ELISE, where we fine-tuned a large language model to perform better in the conversational setting and some industry-specific domains. Let's now take a look on how the new encoder changes the behavior of our own chatbots. Here on the left, we have a bot that has been trained on FAQ data from an airport and smalltalk data. It uses the old encoder, a pre-trained multilingual language model. On the right, in green, we have the same bot, but this time using the encoder we fine-tuned on the ELISE project. Let's start with some basic smalltalk queries, which both bots should handle fine. As we said, our chatbots are FAQ bots, where our customers provide us with a set of questions and answers, and for each query, the bot tries to return the semantically most appropriate answer. Let's see that in action. How early do we have to be before the flight? And both bots manage to serve a response that is relevant. When the confidence of our bot is below a threshold, it comes back with a list of options. So here we are asking about mobility, and we get some possible intents. We can click on them to get the actual response. So the new encoder seems to be better at recognizing actual queries from smalltalk. Let's say we forget the phone in the plane. Here we get matched a smalltalk intent, whereas here we get 3 very relevant intents about losing something on the flight, on the terminal, or on baggage claim. Another example. Here we are asking about the restaurants in the airport, and here we get matched the smalltalk intent, whereas the new encoder correctly matches the FAQ intent instead. Let's see if the fine-tuned encoder can catch the difference between smalltalk and FAQ queries. We ask it, "Do you eat?" and it actually comes back with the smalltalk intent, which is correct. The new encoder is also better when it comes to queries that have just keywords, which was a major issue in the old encoder. So if we just say restaurants, here we match the smalltalk again, whereas here we get the information about the restaurants in the airport. As we said, our engine is multilingual, but so far we have been using just English. So let's take a look at a multilingual example. The widget is set up to respond in English, but will understand almost any language thanks to the power of multilingual encoders. Here we have an example of Marathi. Marathi is a language that the new encoder has not seen during fine-tuning, and it's not in the data that we use to create this bot. So let's see how it behaves. And again, it was an example about wheelchairs in the airport. Here we get the intents, but the new encoder directly assesses that this is the most relevant response about complementary widgets and serves it. Give us some good intuition that it still has the power to generalize across a multitude of languages. Let's now take a look at a quantitative assessment of this new encoder in 3 experiments. On the first one, we take a chatbot on the banking domain, but with smalltalk, similar to what we just saw. And we take the recall at 1, which is 1 if the bot returns the correct intent as the first option and 0 otherwise. And the recall at 3, which similarly, but with the first 3 intents. So for our baseline model, the recall at 1 is around 60. But if we take a look at the fine-tuned model, the recall at 1 is over 75. So we have a 15 points increase. Similarly, for the recall at 3, we go from 65 to over 80. So those are very good news. Let's now take a look at an on-domain, so a banking domain binary classification task, where we assess the quality of the embeddings by performing classification with them, with the dot product. The F1 score for the baseline is around 75, and for the fine-tuned encoder over 95. So here we have on-domain a 20 points increase. Finally, let's take a look at the Pearson coefficient on a sentence similarity benchmark. This benchmark is not on the banking domain, and it is in English, so there's no multilinguality here. The baseline is around 72, and the fine-tuned one is around 77, so we have a 5-point increase. To wrap it up, we are very happy with the results of the ELISE project, as we find that the fine-tuned encoder outperforms our baseline even in tasks outside the banking domain. This encourages us to continue working in this direction. Thank you very much for watching.